Hello, everybody. You can call me Hunch, and today I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin, stacks, NFTs on Bitcoin, and NFTs on stacks, and compare and contrast all the arguments for it. So if you're ready, let's dive on in. You can call me Hunch. Okay, so before we get started, Bitcoin news. Jack Mallers just launched Strike in the Philippines. You can instantly send US dollars to the Philippines. Oh, great. Open world. That's what I'm talking about with space stock. That's what I'm talking about with Bitcoin. We have got to break down the negativity and this person versus this person. We are all one planet. Okay, as much as all the Democrats or the Republicans or whoever, whatever group you're talking about hates Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the thing that is going to bring us together. Okay, now I want to talk Bitcoin NFTs. Before I do that, I was on a cool little podcast last night with this guy named Zero and John Ennis. He is a PhD in something. I don't know what it is, but he's talking about NeoSwap, which is kind of like an NFT trading platform, but they were saying things like you could apply this to so many things in the future. So I did the research so you didn't have to. Okay, so what you're looking at here is kind of like just a GIF image of what's happening when people are trading their NFTs. So you have a bunch of people in a group. They put what they're willing to spend, what NFTs they want to trade. And this basically takes out the friction of trade, gives everything what they think would most likely want, right? So some NFTs would go there. You would get some stacks in return or give stacks for some NFTs. And your wallet would populate with what this artificial intelligence thinks you want. Okay, now don't quote me if that information isn't right, but it basically, in my mind, what I took from this was this takes the friction out of trade, right? So if you think about basic economics, I have an apple, you have an orange. You want my apple, but I don't want your orange. What do? We use money to trade that, right? This is like the evolution of money. Now they use stacks. I think they should be using SBTC. I said that in a Twitter post once, or I said it somewhere in a video. Instead of using stacks, you're using SBTC. So you peg in with your SBTC. You say, okay, I'm willing to give this many sats. I want to get these NFTs. Now, this is interesting because this plays into my next topic, which I'll talk about in a few seconds. But let's review the chart for stacks. Okay, so this is the stacks chart. What I want you to take from this chart is mostly it's pretty crappy. This could be a cup and handle, you know, the double bottom, so on and so forth. I've talked about before. But this basically looks like Bitcoin, except it's not popping off. Okay, and this is what always happens. Bitcoin takes off, then these altcoins take off. Now, I think stacks has not taken off as much as everything else because there's so many chains it's competing with. And then there's a camp of Bitcoin maxis, which I'm going to go into next, that think NFTs are fake or stupid. They don't belong in Bitcoin, which actually is a pro argument for stacks because NFTs exist. They are probably going to continue to exist for some time, I would guess. So this brings me into Ordinals. Okay, what are Ordinals? With the invention or the implementation of Taproot into Bitcoin, some guy came up with Ordinals, which is basically you can put an NFT into the Bitcoin main chain. Now, there's a huge debate going on, and I mean huge, okay? It's between the maxis and the non-maxis who think NFTs on Bitcoin should belong. Now, the maxis arguments are this is state money. It should only be used for money. There should not be NFTs on it. And then there's the argument that for other type of maxis, which I'll show you here, Dan held, who says, this is good for Bitcoin, this is innovative, etc. Okay. Now, this guy makes the argument, Patrick, and so does Munib, if you know Munib, that stacks is better than this, right? Because it declutters the chain and it just puts the hash, or it uses Bitcoin to help settle the stacks transaction. Okay, I don't know all the details of it, but okay, it doesn't clog it up as much. Now, a traditional Bitcoin maxi argues something like this: Ordinals are garbage. We should not be using Ordinals. It should only be for money. Okay, this article gives you a nice little synopsis of what's going on. I think you should read into it. Now, this is interesting bait. This is why I like stacks, right? It's somewhere in between these two. Okay, if you don't know Barry, this is Barry. He called the housing market collapse in 2008. He says sell. I'll give you a little quick insight into that. He thinks you should sell because basically inflation is going to come down. They're going to lower interest rates and inflation is going to go back right up, and that's going to cause stagflation. That happens in the 70s. It's not good for anything. I think this is interesting because Bitcoin is that counter trade, right? We're betting on the collapse of that. traditional finance system in some way. So I'm going in on Bitcoin. That's why I love Bitcoin, because I kind of agree with him. I kind of disagree with him. You can call me Hutch. This is a great video. You should watch it in its entirety. Have a great day.